This program is brought to you by Windhoek. During the second week of November, the country's top pool players and officials converged on Kempton Park for the 1998 South African Open 8-Ball Pool Championship. All 9 provinces were fully represented here, and it was clear from the entry list that no player would have an easy ride. With a total entry of more than 350, elimination rounds were necessary. Those that survived were faced with increasingly stiffer opposition.
This is the mothers of all tournaments. You know, this is the big one. Everyone comes to this tournament. We've got a couple of 14-year-olds. They don't go to the juniors, but they actually come here. Majority of our top ladies come to this tournament. This is the cream of the crop in South African pool.
The knockout format used gave no second chances. It was do or die from the outset. On the penultimate day, the field had been reduced to 64 players. Tensions were mounting.
I'm excited when I think of the prospects that we do have in our development strategies for next year. With television, with sponsors, etc., we can only go forward, and there is no end to what we can meet with in the following year.
Development players surprisingly came to the fore, giving some of the more fancied individuals a torrid time. Here, Lee Raitt from Mpumalanga takes on Suran Raghunanan from KwaZulu-Natal. Our commentator Keith Delport picks up the story.
Lee is currently unranked in South Africa. This is his first men's open nationals he's playing at. And Suran seeded number 15. And he was the first reserve at the World Championships in '98. Lee is 2-0 up here. He's playing the red balls. And Suran's going to have to play well here to get out of the situation he's put himself into. Lee played in this year's B division, former Mpumalanga. And it's good to see a player like Lee coming through the ranks and getting into the last 32. Plays red down here to open up this one dead red ball there.
Unfortunately for Raitt, Raghunanan captured the last frame to sneak in by 5 frames to 4. The next game was between Craig Moodley from Central Gauteng and Oscar Anthony from Western Province.
This is Oscar's first nationals that he's attended, and he's playing for Western Province D this year in the C division. Being Craig's first nationals, one would find there's a lot of tension out there now between the two players. This is to get them into the last 16, and it's not often that we get C division players and unranked players to make it through into the last 16. One can see by some of their shot selection and the way that they play that there is a lot of nerves out there. But I suppose being their first nationals for the both of them, one can expect this.
But Moodley was in dominant form, winning the match by 2 frames.
I played pretty well. I didn't expect to. It was a good player from Western Province. And overcame the pressure. I think that's about it. And I hope that I can go further in this tournament. Actually, now I'm in the top 16. I'm hoping to make the final.
On table 25, the challenge was between 2 Western Province players, Shahid Jumat and Michael Ventura.
Michael is presently leading 3-0, and Shahid is broke and potted the white at the same time. Michael will approach the ball with 1 shot, approach the table with 1 shot. He's going to opt for the reds. He's got a red covering the pocket here, the bottom left end of the table. Michael's opponent, Shahid, was also unseeded and was ranked number 10 after the team event. He was the ex-Western Province singles champion and has also represented Western Province A on 4 occasions. As we've come to know Western Province over the years, they have produced some of the best players the country has seen. It's a very delicate and good shot, which is played there from Shahid at the moment.
Try as he may, Ventura was unable to take the final frame and went down by 5 frames to 4. We'll be shooting more pool after the break. Welcome back to the 1998 South African Open Pool Championships. The game is on the move in South Africa. Great efforts have been made to promote it throughout the nation, and fruits of those efforts are now here for all to see.
We don't believe that development is only a situation of a chosen few. It starts in the sense of we have our springbacks that's got to be trained properly. That we consider to be development. We also have the situation of the younger people in the ranks coming up and taking them through the whole system and affording them the chance to play the national championships and also then the world championships.
There were now 16 players with everything to play for. On table 25, it was Elkano Bailey from Western Province against Alan Brodie from Central Gauteng. Our commentator once again, Keith Delport.
Into the last 16 of the tournament here with Elkano Bailey playing Alan Brodie. Elkano is presently 1 game to 0 up, still best of 9. Elkano Bailey is playing the yellow balls. Was a good shot by Elkano. Elkano is currently seeded number 12 in South Africa and ranked number 3. He has won the South African Junior Championships on 2 occasions and represented South Africa both as a Springbok and Protea. Elkano would be looking at going for finish here now. They call Alan Brodie Mr. Unpredictable. He's ranked number 14. He's not seeded at this tournament. And many people feel Alan's been unlucky over the years not to have made the South African team. But I think after his ranking of number 4, and should he get through into the last 8, he should have a good chance this year of making a South African team. Alan has got an easy shot here or an easy finish.
It was Elkano Bailey through to the last 8, winning by 5 games to 4.
Well, I had my chances, but in this game you have to take advantage. I missed a black to go 4-2 up. Came back 4-all. And the last game I snookered myself on the black, where I missed. And then obviously once your opponent's got 7 yellows, it's hard to lose from there.
Next up, Junaid Nicholas of Western Province against Grant Coetzee of KwaZulu-Natal.
Right, we join the game here between Grant Coetzee from Natal and Junaid Nicholas from Western Province. The score is presently 1-all. Grant is an ex-Western Province player. He moved over to Natal about 1.5 years ago. Without a doubt, one of the more talented players in South Africa. Grant has chosen to play yellows. Grant is currently seeded number 16 in South Africa and ranked number 41 after the team event. Grant never made the South African team last year to go over to the World Championships, and speaking to Grant during this tournament, he's quite adamant about the fact of making the team this year. Junaid is ranked number 1 in South Africa at the moment and ranked 21. Represented South Africa on 3 occasions. He has won the South African Senior Championships in 1996. And once again, as we've seen so often during this tournament, of players finishing and cleaning up from the break.
Despite Grant's flashes of brilliance, consistency won the day, and Janae Nicholas took it by 5 frames to 3.
Well, Grant was playing well, and so was I, but I got a bit more luck than, I guess, Grant, because he went a bit stiff on some shots. It was a tough match, and I think I scraped through.
Meanwhile, on table 27, one of the game's shining lights, Yulan Govender, pitted his skills against Lyndon Gordon.
Best of 9 between Yulan Govender from Natal and Lyndon Gordon from Boland. Yulan Govender is 2-1 up. Game started off with a foul break. Yulan is nominated Reds. Yulan is currently ranked number 6 after the team event and seeded number 13 in South Africa. Many feel that he's the most exciting prospect in South Africa pool at the moment. He recently won the South Africa Junior title, 1998 Junior title, and he represented South Africa at the World Championships in May. Not much is known about Lyndon Gordon. He plays from Boland. He's ranked number 71 after the team event. He's not seeded. What we've seen from him today so far is he's definitely got potential, and Yulan can't allow him to come into the game.
Gordon's time has yet to come. Govender cruised home by 5 frames to 1. The tournament highlighted the latent potential of many of the competitors, but clearly more has to be done to realize their promise.
I'm very much a cue action man, because I think that you can't get, if you can't get the ball onto the spot where you want to get the ball, there's no use even trying tactics. So I'm very much a cue action man. I'm a man who wants the white ball to go in the correct position, and then we talk tactics.
There's been unseeded players that have finished up in the last 16. We've looked at some of the development players actually taking out some of the top guns in the country, and there is a lot of development going on.
We move on to the team competition to determine the best in the country. Competition was fierce, as was the support. The team event was contested in 3 different divisions, giving all a chance for glory. In the C division, Western Province beat Southern Natal in their semi-final showdown, whilst in the other semi-final, Border took out the combined might of the Gauteng Vaal team. That matched Western Province against Border in the final. Now here, Claude George of Border takes on his namesake Faisal. And to take us through the action, coach Charles Fave and national player Sue Wooten.
He's played for the safety shot instead, yes. He opted for the safety. The idea is if you can't finish the game, to try and make sure your opponent can't finish it either on the oncoming visit. This game is all about white ball positioning. It's where you leave the white ball. If you leave the white ball in the right place, there are no difficult shots on the table. It's only when you start putting the white ball into unpredictable spots that the game becomes quite difficult. In the C division, the players usually manage to achieve an area of white ball control, where they'll get the white ball to a specific area, or more or less to an area. In the A division, and certainly in the higher ranks of the A division, you'll see the players actually go down to pinpoint positioning, where they'll put the white ball in between 2 balls in order to get to the right spot. And that's really the difference at the end of the day between the C division player and the A division player, is how the white ball control, or how controlled the white ball movement is.
Faisal has an opportunity to finish the game here if he plays the yellow ball over the centre, either to the bottom of the table or cuts it, and he will give himself an angle on his last remaining ball. Lovely shot, sets his ball up.
Yeah, Faisal's managed to set up his table nicely. He also hasn't left a very obvious finish on for Claude. game is all about what the cue does, and cue action is incredibly important. That's another big difference you'll see between the C division players and the A division players. You'll find that the cue action in an A division player is a lot more consistent and a lot more smooth than that of the lower divisions.
Border were the first champions of the day, beating Western Province by 14 frames to 10. In the B division semi-final, Boland came off second best against Western Province, whilst in the other semi-final, the Eastern Gautengers crashed to their central rivals. That pitted Western Province against Central Gauteng in the final. Again, we join Charles Fauvet and Sue Wooten for commentary on the clash between Willem Adrianse against Graham Bake.
And he tries to take a cannon to clear the way a little bit. Cannon lips out. Willow's looking fairly comfortable at the moment. He needs to get one pot in. His other balls, other than the one that he's about to take out now, are all looking fairly comfortable. Very nice tactical shot. He rolls the black gently over the red ball in the pocket. Graham Bake was in fact ranked number 22 out of the team event, individual rankings. Willow was ranked number 13, so there's a significant difference in their rankings or their standings after the individual team event scores have been calculated.
Willow's looking very comfortable with that black ball behind his red, because it means that Graham can't finish the game until he actually opens that black ball up.
His body language is also very confident, isn't it, Sue? Graham Bake's looking a little bit concerned.
Western Province made up for their loss in the C division final, winning the B final by 14 frames to 6. Province confirmed their all-round strength by marching into the A final, where they came up against Eastern Gauteng. Charles and Sue again.
He might be able to squeeze that yellow in and actually push the red out, but instead he opts to take it to the other side. And a bit of a wild shot from Clinton actually, to take the white ball right across the table to the bottom pocket on the other side. Mohammed now has 2 shots and a fairly easy, or 2 visits, shall I say, to the table, and a fairly easy finish from here.
When you say visit, what's the difference between a visit and a shot?
Well, a visit may comprise several shots. A visit to the table is a turn that a player has, and a player will come to the table pot until he misses, and at that point his visit will come to an end. In fact, his visit comes to an end when the white ball comes to rest after the last ball played. And the control of the table then goes to the opposing player. A shot, however, obviously is from the time the white ball comes to rest till the time the white ball comes to rest again is a shot.
Okay.
So one visit can be many shots.
Western Province piled on the pain. Eastern Gauteng didn't get a show in. With time running out, Eastern Gauteng's fading hopes rested on the outcome of the outing between Mohammed Said and Vaughan Richards.
Too easy. And attempting that ball, of course, now has left Mohammed up for game. He has a reasonably simple finish. Oh, and it looks like he might have just rolled that white ball a little bit too close.
Got a couple of centimetres between there, but it's a very, very tight angle.
What that does, obviously, it closes the angle down dramatically. But what a lovely shot.
Excellent shot.
Lovely shot to set up his black ball game.
But in the end, the inevitable happened, with Western Province capturing the second team title of the day. Singles action after the break. Welcome back. Everything set for the final of the South African Open 8-ball pool singles championship. Nick Zulu of Central Gauteng against Elcano Bailey of Western Province. North versus South in this battle of the pool giants. With both players having survived the grueling qualification rounds, it all came down to this, and the pressure seemed to get to Nick early on.
It's not easy, and he has opened both his yellow balls. O'Connor just kicking Nick's one ball up to the top of the table, making it awkward. Looks like he's going to have to play a cannon or play a safety shot there. Not an easy finish for him.
Judging by the look in Nick's face, he's got a plan.
Yeah, he gets that little smirk.
Doesn't he always? He's left himself very awkward. The run of the second ball hasn't turned out nicely for him at all. I think he'll be wanting to look to set that yellow ball in the pocket where the black ball is sitting, and just leave the white on the cushion to be safe.
That's a lovely shot, and he's done exactly that.
And he's covered that pocket very nicely.
But O'Connor might be able to squeeze the black ball off the cushion, bump the yellow out the way and in the pocket. Oh, he goes for a double.
Well, O'Connor pulls off a tremendous shot, actually replacing the black ball with the yellow ball with the black ball and turning the advantage in the game right around. He has left a small gap there. Nick might be able to squeeze the yellow ball in past the black on the right-hand side and in between the black and the cushion just to regain the advantage in that pocket. Oh, and he's made a mistake. He's given the first frame to O'Connor.
But the 1994 champion called on hidden reserves to fight his way back into the game. After being 1-0 down, he went into the second frame with a lot to prove.
I think he's looking at a snooker between these two balls at the top, maybe just kissing off the first one and sitting behind it.
Indeed, exactly that, and he pulls it off beautifully.
Now O'Connor is completely snooked from his black ball. What he really needs to do is at least touch it, which will limit Nick to only having one shot, because the table is fairly open for him now.
Which he's done successfully. He hasn't left the black in a particularly easily pottable position, but Nick does have the opportunity now.
He's looking at the ball on the cushion, which is probably the most difficult shot on the table.
If he does get that ball though, his white will naturally run into position behind the other two, so he'll get a fairly easy
lovely shot.
run.
Lovely shot.
Perfect position. In fact, he didn't rely on the natural run of the ball at all. He played bottom to bring that ball back onto the yellow. And all he's got to do is bring that white ball out to centre table.
Leaves himself an open shot on the black ball, and this will make it 1-1.
Not only did he overtake O'Connor's early lead, but he went on to press home his advantage and win the coveted title one more time.
Actually, it wasn't too easy, but I try and control myself and I keep calm.
A great moment for Nick Zulu, our champion for 1998. This great event proved that pool is here to stay.
Dating back to a couple of years ago, the game of pool has been very popular, especially in the white communities. And you can't believe the potential that is showing in the black sector. Almost every tavern that you go to, every shebeen that you go to, you find a pool table these days.
So the end of a highly successful tournament. A tournament which the best pool players in the land strutted their stuff. Such was the interest generated by this event that it's clear the sport has now moved into the mainstream, a sport for the people. The tournament also provided the national selectors with an ideal opportunity to run the rule over the contenders for places in the South African team for the World 8-Ball Pool Championships in Blackpool, England in May next year. We'll keep you posted on that score. This program was brought to you by Windhoek.